Welcome fight fans to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning a possible blockbuster fight at 122 pounds between Naoya Inoue and Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Guys, we know the Japanese monster Naoya Inoue is coming off another dominant performance against Luis Nery to stay undisputed at 122 pounds. We also know he overcame deep adversity for the first time in his career, getting dropped in the first round in a bit of a reckless exchange in which Inoue, the normal technical savant, drops his guard and Nery catches him. For the first time, we saw Inoue have to pick himself up off of the canvas and overcome that adversity, and he did just that, going on to drop Nery multiple times and then finally getting him out of there in the 6th round. Now, we also know Jesse Bam Rodriguez is getting ready for his title fight against Juan Estrada at 115 pounds. We know that Bam is coming off a victory over Sonny Edwards at 112 pounds, and he's never fought up to 122. So these rumors, these potential fight possibilities are coming from the horse's mouth himself, Eddie Hearn. Now, granted, is this just wishful thinking? We know Inoue is already 31 years old. Bam is only 24, and he's growing into his physique. He's slowly going up the weight classes, and it's not out of the question, if he handles business against Estrada, that he wouldn't move up to 18 or 22. And that's where the question is, would Inoue really drop a division to meet Bam in the middle, or would he make Bam come up to 22? I think that's the more feasible resolution here. So today I want to talk a little bit about both fighters, Bam Rodriguez and the Japanese monster, see what they've been up to in terms of fighter opponents, how they've been going about their business, and then talk a little bit about some advantages and disadvantages that each fighter will or will not have if Eddie Hearn gets his wish and I get my wish, and we actually get to see in the near future a Rodriguez versus Inoue matchup. So now let's take a look at Bam Rodriguez. Jesse Bam Rodriguez is 19-0 with 12 knockouts. He has a career 63% knockout to win ratio. He's currently ranked #1 in the world in the flyweight division. Guys, that's 112 pounds. He is taking on Juan Estrada in June for Estrada's belt at 115 pounds. He currently holds the IBF and WBO world flyweight titles. Bam is 24 years old, and the American is a southpaw, standing at 5'4" with a 67-inch reach. Like I said, this coming June, he's taking on Juan Estrada for the belt at 115 pounds. Before that fight, he last took on Sonny Edwards, who was undefeated. Bam got him out of there in the 9th. Christian Hernandez was 15-1. Bam won via UD. Israel Gonzalez was 28-4. Bam won UD. And then he fought Wang Gek, who was 50-5. Bam knocked him out in the 8th round. Bam Rodriguez at 24 years old is as hot as a prospect as you'll find in America in the lower weight classes. The question is how he'll be able to come up weight. We'll have a lot of these questions answered this coming June when we see what he looks like against Estrada at 115. Bam has fought at that weight class before, but this time the titles are on the line, and he said himself he wants big international fights. He did name drop Inoue after his last victory, and hearing Eddie Hearn, the guy behind Matchroom, also say that, you'd have to think there is some truth to those speculations. Now let's take a closer look at the Japanese monster. Naoya Inoue is 27-0 with 24 knockouts. He has a career 89% knockout to win ratio. He is the #1 fighter in the world at super bantamweight, that's 122 pounds. He currently is the undisputed champion, holding the IBF, WBA, WBC, and WO titles at super bantamweight. The 31-year-old Japanese fighter is an orthodox boxer, standing at 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. He last took on Luis Nery. Nery was 35-1, knockout in the 6th. Marlon Tapales, 37-3, knockout in the 10th. Stephen Fulton, 21-0, knockout in the 8th. Paul Butler, 34-2, knockout in the 11th. Nonito Donaire, 42-6, knockout in the 2nd. Guys, we know what Inoue wants to do. We know he's flashy but technical. We know he'll invite a dogfight, but he'll also be smart, and we know about that power. 24 out of his 27 wins coming by stoppage. We know what he wants to do. It doesn't take a lot of time to compute his data in terms of his opponents. When you watch a Inoue fight, it's usually fireworks from the very opening bell. After he beat Neary, we were hearing guys in the upper weight classes calling him out. Everybody from Tank Davis to Shakur Stevenson to now Vasily Lomachenko talking about if he would go up in weight, they would meet him in the middle for a super fight. But Eddie Hearn came on and he was talking about Bam Rodriguez would be the most feasible. When you talk about the American 24-year-old champion and the Japanese icon selling out a stadium like he said in either Japan or America would do astronomical sales. When you look at them side by side, Inoue's obviously gonna have the ring experience, he's gonna have the size advantage, and he's gonna have that championship moxie. Now, neither one of these guys have ever tasted defeat, so the last thing Bam is gonna do is go into this fight and be hesitant. You would expect Rodriguez to go and implement his game plan, work that jab, set up his power shots, and go after Inoue. I can't fortune tell here because I don't know how this is gonna go down, but normally if I had to pick an edge, I'd have to go with the younger guy, not because he's less experienced, but because of the weight classes. In the lighter weight classes, especially when you're talking about super bantamweights, bantamweights, flyweights, super flyweights, speed, reflexes is what gets them to the dance. Those are the abilities that allow them to shine. As we get older, those are the first things to go. So when you see Inoue at 31, when you see Bam at 24, can we really see this fight happening in the next year? Probably not. So you'd have to think Inoue would be around 32 at the time. Bam wouldn't even be entering his physical prime, and only time will tell. I'm gonna leave it there. I'll ask you guys. Rodriguez still needs to get past the tough Estrada first, and no way is that an easy fight. And then if he wins that, then we can have another chat and do another video. Where it stands right now, it's really tough to see anybody below Inoue defeat him, but what do you guys think? If Rodriguez ever fought Inoue, who wins this fight? Does Bam have a chance, or does Inoue walk through him? Let me know in the comment section below.